Tēnā koutou katoa. My name's Jono, I'm the tech tutor here at Pae Tata. Today I'd like to do something a little bit different and playful and show you how I created this wallpaper using a program called Gimp. If you like this wallpaper and you'd like to download it and use it for yourself, feel free to do so. I'll put the link in the description below. Otherwise, if you'd like to follow the lesson and learn how to create similar images yourself, continue watching and we'll walk through it together. So Gimp is a image manipulation program and it's free to download from gimp.org. It's very similar to Photoshop and it's just as powerful. For anyone that wants to learn how to do this at home or in their free time, as long as you've got a computer that can run it, it's a great starting piece of software. I use it a lot. So the first thing you want to do when you open up the program, you'll be faced with a window like this. Go up to File, New. We want to adjust the image size to a high definition standard size wallpaper, which is 1920 by 1080. Now it's already in my system because I've been using this image size lately. And I just click OK. The first thing I want to do is when I come here, I've actually got some images that I've selected off the internet and saved down to the computer. And to get an image into the program, you click, you drag, and you just drop koro over here. And the next thing I want to do, is click on the arrows, which is the move tool. Click on koro and move him into position. Now I'm using the arrow keys on the keyboard, pushing down to move him. I can click and drag and move him where I want, but quite often I struggle with the alignment. Okay, Control Z is undo. So now that I know that he's centered, I'm just going to move him down slowly with the down key. Okay. What you want to be doing is you've got layers over here, so you've got different image layers. Okay. I want to right click on this image or this layer and I want to add an alpha channel. Now what an alpha channel is going to do is when I select the eraser tool and I delete stuff, alright, you can see that it's making it invisible. And that's what the alpha channel does. So we want to select the fuzzy selector or the magic wand and we want to adjust the threshold. Now the threshold is the strength of the edge. So if we reduce this a little bit, you'll see it selects a little bit less. The contrast between the sky and the mountain is very, very similar color, so it's going to be very low. Whereas if you had a strong black and white image, you wouldn't be faced with this issue. So I've found a strength that is selecting the sky without coming across into the snow area. I select it with my magic wand and I push the delete key on the keyboard. Okay, I delete all the unwanted stuff. Whoops. Control Z to undo because it got this area in here. Alright, delete, let's try that again. Okay, it's still getting that, so what I'm going to do is just reduce the threshold a little bit more and just get this area up here. Now it doesn't have to be perfect because what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the eraser tool and I'm just going to clear out, select none, and I'm just going to clear out all this other stuff that got left behind. Okay, now that's looking pretty close. I've taken a little bit more than I should have there, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is I am going to select the eraser tool. I'm going to change the brush to something a little bit harder. And I can change the size of this brush, as you can see. Very quickly using my keyboard, I can adjust the size of it over here. Alright, but I can also hold the keyboard down. Alright, and it's going to reduce. Now the key that I'm using is these square brackets. If you're struggling to find them on the keyboard, look for the squiggly brackets. They're somewhere in between the backspace and the enter key on your keyboard. Now I'm going to hold down Control and scroll with the wheel so I can see a little bit closer. And I'm going to bring that black background in because it's going to be good for the contrast. I'm just going to delete all this stuff that I don't want. Alright, scrolling the wheel to move around. And I'm going to reduce the size of this. Alright, and I'm just going to clean up this edge because we want a cleaner edge. Now it doesn't have to be perfect, but try not to take away too much. Alright, and I'm just going to work my way through this slowly. Alright, bear with me through here. Paying extra attention to the bits that I really want to stand out. Okay, so not trying to take too much off the peak. I'll fix this bit in a second. Alright, take rid of all this. Okay, on an image like this, we really want these peaks to be defined because that's important to us. So I'm trying to do it quickly. Obviously, if you were trying to do this very clean, you'd do it a little bit slower. I'm just trying to rush through it for the sake of the video. Okay, this size of brush seems to be working quite well, but you can go smaller if you need to. Okay, and if you do a mistake like this, Control Z will undo your last action. Okay, so if I make a mistake, Control Z. If you're using a Apple computer, obviously it will be Apple Z or Command Z. Alright. Take away all of this here. Okay, so that didn't take too long. I'm just going to zoom out and check that I haven't missed any other bits. Okay. Now what we can do for this bit up here is let's grab this smudge tool. So this is a smudge tool or a blur tool. We'll bring it a bit closer, and I'm actually just going to blend these bits all together. Okay. You might want to adjust the type of strength or size. Okay, let's make this so it blends in a little bit more. And then we'll grab that eraser tool and just sharpen it up. That will look fine for what we're doing. And again, another one over here, and just smudge in between here, sharpen it up. Okay. Oops, Control Z. I want to use the eraser tool for that. The rest of it looks alright. Remember, I'm just going through this quickly, but when we zoom out, we now have a transparent background here. Now this is where the fun starts. We open this up. I've got a image of a clear day. I'm just going to click, drag, drop it in place. Because these files that I've got are wallpapers, so I just googled clear cloud day wallpaper, and they're all 1920 by 1080, so they just drop perfectly in here. You would have noticed that this was a slightly different size, but that's okay. We're going to click on this layer and we're going to drag and drop it below. So now we've put it behind. I'm not convinced with that sky color, it's a bit bright. So on this layer, I'm going to select color balance, and I'm just going to adjust this. Dark, let's go lighter. Okay, just lighten the sky up, not too much. And bring some other colors in to fade it out. There we go, that looks like a nice sunny day. Could we adjust this one? Too much? No, I don't want to play with that one too much. Again, if you don't like something, Control Z, it will undo it. And we're just going to go, okay, A little bit too much yellow. I'll go Control Z. Let's just play with these ones. They worked quite well. Okay, I'm happy with that. Nice and quick. One thing I want to do is let's make Koro a bit darker because he's a bit bright. I'm going to grab that magic wand, and because I've selected this layer, I can click anywhere here where there's nothing and it's clearly defined an outline of the mountain. I can go select, which is my selection, and invert. So now instead of selecting this, I've selected the whole mountain. Control Z, Control V, which is copy and paste. Okay, that's Control C, Control V. And I want to right click on this layer and go to new layer. So now we've got two koros. Okay. Alright, let's bring them both back in. And on this top layer, select invert. I want to grab a paintbrush, make it black, and make it a very large size. And I'm just going to paint right over top of this whole thing. Now, because it's staying in the selection, I don't have to worry too much about going outside the lines, because it's only going to paint what I've selected. Okay, once we've got that, obviously we want to see Koro, so we're going to reduce the opacity, which is basically the transparency, and we're going to bring him right down to 15. So it's a very subtle difference, all right, but it's just enhancing those shadows and making it blend in with the back, and you can play around with this. It's going to come in handy for this next step that I'm going to do shortly. So we're happy with that. Select, none. Alright, we've got this image, it's sort of sitting a little bit better, and what I want to do is just drop a logo on here. Okay, he's at the back, so we'll move him up to the front. Grab the move tool, and when using the move tool, you've got to select, make sure that it's over there. If you select here, it's going to move the background. Control Z, so make sure that when you're clicking on it, you're clicking on the thickness of the logo because it's got a transparent background. So that's just going to sit up there in the corner, but I want to copy, paste to new layer, and I want to move this out because I want to have this sort of landing in the background or over top of Koro. So once I select it, I go to the scale tool, click on him, hold down Control so it's centered, and I just want to make him massive. Once I'm happy with that scale, I'm going to grab the eraser tool, right, and I'm going to take this bit out because I don't want that there. Okay, move tool, and we're going to move him down to position. I might make him a little bit bigger. Okay, and I just want to, because he's going to sit behind, I just want to rotate this just ever so slightly so we see these beautiful. Okay, I'm really happy with that. Although I might make the opacity of this a little bit more softer. And there you go, there is the wallpaper that I created earlier here. So obviously a little bit different because I've rushed through this just for tutorial purposes. You're never going to get the same image twice. But once we've got that, we can then obviously file, save it, or export it as a photo image, so a JPEG or a PNG. But what we want to do is, if we want to play with this a little bit more, let's say we want to make a night version. I click on the starry sky. Don't worry about this, usually just hit keep. It's just saying that the image has got some slightly different coloring. We want to hit the scales tool because obviously this image wasn't 1920 by 1080, so it's coming in its native size. Alright, click on it, hold down Control, and we're just going to make it large so it covers all the edges of our image. Scale. Okay, so now all of a sudden Koro's at night. I've chosen this one because it's got this beautiful glow behind it. And again, you know, if you want more of the glow, click on this and bring it up. All right. If you do get sort of this background stuff come through, grab the smudge tool, make sure you select on this, and just move it out of the way. Oops, I got a star. Just move it out of the way quickly. Okay. That looks really good. What else do we have? We want this to come in front, okay, because the blue is a bit darker. We're going to drop the opacity of this right down, so he's just faintly there. Okay, that's looking good. I want to maybe bring in some more shadows, so I make this darker. This is that black outline that we made before. Okay, just to make it more nighttime-y. And for fun, I'm going to bring in a paintbrush. I'm going to create a new layer, get it white, reduce the size of this, and play around with some different brushes. I want a slightly softer one. Okay, and I'll bump a star there, just a circle, and then I grab the smudge tool. Right, and out of this, oops, that's not straight. That's not straight either. Yep. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, there we go. Happy with that. And again, out this side, out this side. Oh, it's looking all right. Now, let's say I want to clean that up. I grab the eraser tool, and I just make these a little bit more to a desired size. Okay, I kind of feel like I've gone backwards with that, but for demonstration purposes, that will do. Okay, and I zoom out. Now it looks like we've got a nice bright North Star. Call it Puanga, call it Steve, don't mind. And there you go. There you've got two images that we've created very quickly. We're using a program called Gimp. If you found this helpful, by all means, have a play around. If you have any questions for us, pop down to TPT or to Pae Tata at the hub. Ask us any questions. I can walk you through any of this. Otherwise, as I said, the links are in the description below. Feel free to use these. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you had fun today with our lesson. Ka kite, have a good day.